Blog Talk Radio.
Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. This is the Choppin It Up Show, brought to you by the Marching Podcast and Blog Talk Radio. I'm your official Marching Podcast announcer, David Thompson, and here's your host, the Phantom Podcaster himself, Joe Beard.
All right, good evening and welcome to Choppin It Up. I am your host, Joe Beard, and happy to be of service for you tonight. Today is May 7th, 2013, 5 o'clock on the West Coast and 8 o'clock on the East Coast, and we hope that you hear me today. We apologize about the audio issues that we continue to have here and there. It's just kind of the breaks of having the show on Blog Radio. We'll be blessed one day to have our own studio and not have those issues. This month is very special to me because it is our 1-year anniversary month. 1 year ago this month, I started to broadcast on Blog Talk Radio, and I am blessed to be here 1 year later with plans to be here many, many more. We want to take this month to be special, so we will chop it up every Tuesday of this month. Okay, now each person that we're going to chop it up with were classmates with me at Jackson State, and they are doing big things in the world today. I am honored and proud that I know these people, but also because that they are graduates of a great HBCU institution, making a difference and providing a positive image for HBCUs, our kids, and the world in general. At the end of the broadcast, if you decide if you like the show, we would appreciate a donation to the network if you feel so in your heart, of course. Just simply go to themarchingpodcast.com, click on the donate button to improve the show and to build our scholarship fund. Tonight, we chop it up with Bourne Foster. Bourne is a graduate of Jackson State and was a year ahead of me in the band. He was Trump Funk 1996, and he brought me in the fold because my crab year was 97. Bourne would have been my crab brother, but I marched at Johnson C. Smith in 96, which is another story altogether. I've kept in contact with Bourne through Facebook, and he is now playing his horn professionally for Musiq Soulchild. Really happy for Bourne and happy to say that someone that played trumpet with me is in the entertainment industry playing for an artist that I'm familiar with. This will be a podcast and will not take any calls, but you are welcome to contact the show at marchingpodcast@gmail.com, tweet us at marchingpodcast, or follow our blog4.themarchingpodcast.com. Let's take this time to hear from our sponsors. Tonight's show is brought to you by Liquid Effects Photography, Block Band Music, bandhead.org, Universal Credit Sources, and Big Deal Fundraising. Let's take this time to hear from them now.
What if there was a Facebook for bands? Wait a minute, there is, bandhead.org. Bandhead.org is a social network for HBCU show bands. You can create your own profile and post videos, photos, and comments on bandhead.org. Need somewhere to post events, audition schedules, job postings? Check out bandhead.org. Are you recruiting for talent? Go to bandhead.org. And coming this fall, HBCUbands.com. Write that down, HBCUbands.com. Attention high school directors and alumni. Does your band need to raise money to travel, buy instruments, or uniforms? Are you looking to raise money to help your band? Well, Big Deal Fundraising is rapidly becoming one of the largest distributors of fundraising products in the industry. Big Deal is based in New York City and ships anywhere in the United States, offering quality products, fast delivery, and innovative consultation that will help you meet your fundraising goals. Call today at 855-244-4430 or visit us at BigDealFundraisingUSA.com. Big Deal Fundraising, your fundraising partner for your band or music ensemble. Block Band is a minority-owned music business that you can think of as your assistant band director. We help grow your musicians with a great selection of traditional concert band music. Then we back up their performance with necessities like reeds, oil, drum heads, drumsticks, and mallets. Finally, we outfit your players in auxiliary and shoes, spats, and gloves that match our precise custom drills. Got band? If so, then Block Band's got you. Check blockbandmusic.com or call us at 919-698-2560. That's blockbandmusic.com, 919-698-2560. Are you thinking of tying the knot, having a party, or celebrating that special time in your life? To capture these special moments, call Liquid Effects Photography and take advantage of our 10 years of quality and experience. Liquid Effects Photography covers most of the Midwestern U.S. and will travel even farther on request. Call us at 773-454-5556. That's 773-454-5556. Or check out our website, liquideffects.com. That's LIQUIDEFFEX.com. Come experience the uniqueness of Liquid Effects Photography. Is your credit score keeping you from buying a home, a car, starting a business, or getting a job? Is your score keeping you from living the life you want? Well, look no further than Universal Credit Sources. UCS can help with charge-offs, collections, late payments, bankruptcy, foreclosure, debt settlement, tax liens, and more. Our program is affordable with results in as little as 40 days. Call now for your free 10-minute consultation with Senior Credit Analyst and Loan Officer Angie B. Call her direct line at 469-362-9904. That's 469-362-9904. Or check out the website at universalcreditsources.com. Universal Credit Sources for anything that's hurting your credit score.
Okay, we're back and we're ready to chop it up with Born. You can contact the show at marchingpodcast@gmail.com or tweet us at marchingpodcast or follow our blog4.themarchingpodcast if you have any questions or comments for Born. I also want to say really quick, this is also a special anniversary month. It is my mother's birthday month and it is also my sister's birthday month. So shout out to Angie, Antoinette Beard, who is the outstanding loan officer for Universal Credit Sources, and my dear beloved mother, Natalie Vaughn Kennedy Beard, who resides in Charlotte, and Angie resides in Dallas. So love you both, love the family, happy birthday to you both. Let's go ahead and chop it up with Born Foster. You're now in the Marching Podcast, and we have our man Born Foster here. What's going on today, Born?
Yo, what's going on? What's going on, Joe? What's up, world?
I really appreciate you being on and really proud of you and what you're doing. It's really cool to talk to you because we were in the band together, which, we'll get all into in the podcast. But let's go ahead and just get right into it. Born, where are you from?
Born is originally from Queens, New York. My mother moved us to Memphis, and Memphis is where I picked up the trumpet at the age of 12. And then, upon getting good on the trumpet, I got a dance scholarship to Jackson State University, amongst other places, but chose JSU, and glad I did.
Okay, so I didn't even know you were born. You weren't born in Memphis. I always know Memphis.
Yeah, nah.
So, what high school did you go to there in Memphis?
I came out of Kirby High School, on the east side of Memphis.
Okay, and did you march in the high school band there?
Oh yeah, I marched all 4 years in high school.
Okay.
Which was it was actually a core style band too.
Oh wow, okay. So being from Memphis and being from the South, what would you say your first exposure was to the show style marching band?
Well, it was most definitely while I was in the core style band. I remember this one year they had asked some students in the band if we wanted to volunteer at the Liberty Bowl, which is where Jackson State and Tennessee State have their game every year. And I'll never forget, I went and volunteered this one year. It had to be probably 9th or 10th grade. And And, you know, and I heard these bands, and I was like, dude, like, what? Why do they sound different? Why do they sound so, like, they sounded, you know, just the sound was totally different to you know, the chord style thing. You know, I was used to drum chords, you know, drum and bugle chords, and, you know, and all that type of thing, but I had never really heard you know, a show band. And so, you know, I stepped out into the game area because, you know, we were volunteering like in concessions. So I stepped out in there and I was like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? I was blown away. And it was, you know, it was Jackson State and Tennessee State playing, and I was blown away, man. So, you know, I guess that's what kind of led to me ending up auditioning at Jackson State in 96.
Okay, so after seeing that, did that make you pick Jackson State? Is that what made you select Jackson State?
More or less, yeah. You know, I had a couple of buddies in Memphis. One of my buddies, he was going to Memphis. Like I said, I had auditioned at several other schools, and, you know, got contact from them all. And Jackson State was one of the last schools I went and auditioned at because a buddy of mine, he was going up there to audition on tuba, and he was like, you know, hey, I think you should come. You know, I think you should. You know, I'm auditioning such and such weekend. I think you should go audition too. You know what I mean? And so I went. You know what I mean? And the results were good. They offered me the most money out of everywhere else that I went. So I ended up there.
Oh, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. So, do you remember? I guess was that the basic memory of you selecting Jackson State? Now, you went there, Jackson State, and marched in the Sonic Boom of the South. What would you say was your most memorable experience marching in the Sonic Boom?
Oh, Lord. This may not be a good experience, but by far the most memorable. I never forget. This is my sophomore year, and we were actually at the Liberty Bowl against Tennessee State, and we were doing a drill where, you know, the whole band, like the band splits apart, and instead of me remaining with my squad, and I don't know, man, I was over focused. I kept going like all by myself, and I kind of played it off like, you know what I'm saying, as I was supposed to do it, but I mean, everybody's seen it though, of course. But that's by far one of my most memorable experiences. You know, to kind of laugh at myself. But on a brighter note, definitely my most memorable is when I arranged. I had got into student arranging, and I had arranged a song. It's called Big Ballin', and Jackson State still plays it today amongst a lot of other colleges and high schools and middle schools, like across the whole country. Like, it just was really one of those power tunes that people picked up on it quick, and it just spread like a wildfire. Like I said, I wrote Big Ballin' back in '98, if I'm not mistaken, and they still play it today. Like, it's kind of like, you know, the school has a fight song or whatever, but I think Big Ballin' somehow became like the hype song, if you will. Like, as soon as the crowd hears that first little intro part, man, like the pom-poms start waving like all across the stadium. It's crazy, man. So I'll never forget the first time I went down in front of the band and they played it, and I was like, wow, I did this. That by far goes down in history, man. It's the greatest memory.
Definitely, man. I was thinking that I forgot all about that Memphis game when you were out there like that. I didn't even see, and it's funny too because I didn't even see it because I was in, you know, squad 2. I think, were you in squad like 3 or 4 or something like that?
3 or 4, something like that. Yeah, 3 or 4.
Yeah, so like you were behind, so like I only heard about it, you know, like later. But definitely Big Ballin', man. I mean, you know, we all got crunk playing that song, but to see it still more than
still going. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you got to think, man, this was 98, man. More than 10 years have passed. Like, 10 years would be 2008. Like, we in 13, man. That's like a decade and a half on a rap tune, man. Like, let's be realistic here. You know what I'm saying? Like, they've even, you know, just think about it. Just to put it in a bigger perspective, there are actual, you know, slow songs and ballads and you know, songs that were, you know what I mean, like Earth, Wind and Fire and, you know, major arrangements that were done that they don't even play anymore, that, you know, that deserve to, you know, be in the book forever. And, you know, they cut some of that stuff out the book. So, like, for my, you know, my rap tune, I had no idea when I wrote it. Like, I knew it was, you know, this was way back, you know, Cash Money. Like, people didn't even know about them way back then like that, you know, like how they do now. Everybody knows Wayne, and, you know, this is long before Drake. In fact, Wayne was just a teenager back then. Like, he wasn't even cursing and stuff like that. Like, you know, it's crazy. It's like history. And, like, so, you know, to look at it now, I arranged a song that people really didn't even know what it was back then. And it's still going, and like to look, you know, to go on YouTube and see, you know, not to bring race into the thing, but to see white schools, like middle schools, playing it on YouTube, like, right. and you know, they really, before they time, like they middle school students, they don't have an earthly idea of, you know, really what that song is, or, you know, they don't have a clue what it is, but they just know, okay, this song is a good band tune. Like, that in itself, man, that's just, it's just mind blowing at times. Like, when I tell people I arranged it, and, you know, they're like, what? Like, that? You know, it's just crazy, man.
Yeah, so, people don't even know that a student, they don't even know a student arranged it, but I can even vouch for it myself, where in the 90s, you know, I came from St. Louis, and St. Louis is, you know, it's well-rounded. I wouldn't say that, you know, that's so straight up like East Coast or West Coast, but I wasn't that familiar with Cash Money. I mean, they were new on the scene in the 90s.
Exactly.
So when I came down to Jackson, of course, I heard Cash Money and a whole lot, you know, down south hip-hop, much more than I had ever heard, and I didn't even really hear the song.
Right.
I mean, which was a lot of the case, which a lot of our dance routine and a lot of the songs we played at halftime, I hadn't even heard a lot of those songs before. But then, you know, you hear it, we play it, and then you're like, oh, I like that song. But that was just like wildfire. Like you say, that's definitely going down in the annals of the Hall of Fame history for Black college bands. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It definitely is. Well, I'm glad you brought that up, man. So, now, were you a music major at Jackson State?
I was a music education major, yeah.
Okay. And did you have dreams and aspirations of working in the music field, of like, you know, arranging music or whatnot?
I did at the time, and you know, and upon leaving Jackson State, I went back to the high school I graduated from in Memphis and started there as an assistant director for about a good year and a half, man. Brought them, you know, they were, as far as Memphis bands, they were pretty low on the totem pole, man. Needless to say, having the knowledge that I gained from Jackson State, I quickly, you know, helped them rise from, you know, pretty much from, I'm not gonna say they were at the rock bottom, but I mean, you know, they weren't, no one was speaking of them, you know what I mean, in terms of the good bands. Everyone was, you know, talking about Fairleigh High School or Whitehaven High School, or, you know, schools like that. But, you know, like I said, after spending a good year with them and everything, I brought them to the top of the ranks, man, and we were doing showdowns against people like Fairleigh and things of that nature. So, you know, after doing that for about a year and a half at my high school, I went over to Fairleigh High School that next year. Did that for about another year, and I noticed something that upon teaching that new generation of the kids, and it was like very few of them were actually serious about it. And you know, I take music really, really seriously. And so I kind of didn't have the patience to weed through the 85 students and hit that 15 that were really interested. You know what I'm saying? It was real frustrating. So I, you know, kind of just gracefully bowed out and just went back into, you know, working regular jobs and got out the profession until, you know, until moving to Atlanta in, let's see, in about '08. And, you know, even when I moved to Atlanta in '08, I still was just, you know, working. I never really got back into the music field. And so, you know, I'll pause there and see where you want to go with the conversation from there.
Yeah, because that rolls into like my next set of questions I was going to ask. You know, you had the dreams and aspirations of working in the music field. So how did you become a freelance musician? Well, what could you tell the listeners now currently what you do now?
Well, now currently a touring musician. I tour with the international renowned, Grammy-nominated soul artist, Musiq Soulchild. I am a part of his band, Just Listen, and you know, like I said, I tour. That's all I do. You know what I mean? They send me emails for the shows and the flight information, and I just show up with my horn, man, go wherever we going, and you know, and get paid for it, man. It's a beautiful thing.
That's actually really cool. That's actually really cool. I'm sure a lot of people know Musiq Soulchild, and for just HBCUs in general to know that, you know, they have a graduate out there in his band that actually marched in the band, in the, you know, in a band, HBCU style bands. I mean, that's also, you know, that's also good for the people to know, and, you know, definitely for check out music. So who helped you get to play? I mean, because hey, it's a lot of musicians want to play with somebody big time. How did that happen?
Yeah, I'll explain. I'll kind of break down how it went down. All right, well, Atlanta is pretty huge on the with the music and the arts and things of that nature. So, like I said, when I first came here, I was, you know, I'd pick up my trumpet every once in a while, but I was, you know, working regular jobs. So I, you know, sometimes time and my energy didn't really permit. But, you know, for me to really get on my trumpet and so on and so forth. So what I would do was every once in a while, I would go to this place. It's a really popular place in Atlanta. It's called the Patriots Cafe. And they have an open mic there on Wednesday nights. And, you know, there's a house band, but the house band doesn't consist of any horns. So, like, if horn players come, like, you're welcome to get up there. And so that's kind of how the whole thing kicked off. You know, I would go to Apache every once in a while and, you know, get up there, you know what I mean, and you know, take part in the music while the people were doing open mic. And then, you know, I just kind of started, you know, people started seeing my face, and I, you know, start building with this person and, you know, exchange numbers with this person. And, you know, that ended up turning into me getting back on my horn and really seeing like, okay, you know, maybe I can do this music thing. So, you know, mind you, I'm still working, you know, 9 to 5 and this, that, and the third. So, you know, we fast forward a little bit more, maybe to about 2010. Okay, by now I've made a few more connections music-wise, and now I'm let's see here, I'm playing like with you know, different groups in Atlanta, like on the underground scene, though, you know what I mean? Just, you know, people are learning about me, and people are starting to hear about me, and I'm starting to get phone calls. So I think I started out like in a reggae band. It was a real hot group too. It was called Integrity. Started out with them, and then that branched off to me playing with this person and that person. So, you know, little by little, I just ended up getting on this trail, not realizing it. And so one day comes where I'm doing let's see here. like I said, I'm playing in a couple of groups and I'm doing features on people's albums, you know, on the underground scene. And, you know, there comes a day when I'm at work and I really literally started talking to myself, Joe, and I was like, boy, you're not getting any younger. You know what you created to do. You know what your passion is. Just go for it. And true story, Joe, my wife is pregnant with my first child. She's on maternity leave. I'm working a full-time job with great benefits, this, that, and the third. And Joe, I just left. I just said, you know what, enough is enough. I'm gonna go for my dreams. And I literally quit my full-time job while my wife was pregnant and stepped out on faith, man.
Wow.
Yeah. And so after doing that, like, now you got to realize, I'm like, okay, what in the world am I going to do now? You know what I mean? Like, what am I going to do for income? And, man, believe it or not, Joe, my phone just started ringing. Like I say, a whole week went by, and, you know, I just would meditate and see myself where I wanted to be. And I'd say after that first week of just chilling at home, mind you, I still didn't tell I didn't really tell my wife anything at this point, but my phone started to ring, and it'd be a phone call, and it'd be like, hey, boy, are you working? And I didn't even know where these people were getting my number from. Like, and it, you know, the conversation would go like this: hey, boy, what's going on? This is such and such, such and such. Are you working this weekend? You know, and when when you get a music phone call and someone says, are you working this weekend? They're meaning like, do you have a gig this weekend? You know?
Right.
So, you know, so they'd be like, are you working this weekend? And of course I'd be like, no. And they'd be like, oh, okay, well, you know, can you do a hit with SI, which is a major corporate band, which is corporate band. That's another term for like a party band that gets hired privately to, like, let's say, do a wedding reception for 3 hours, right?
Uh-huh.
So, you know, so they'd be like, okay, well, you know, I've got a gig with SI and we need a trumpet player. You know, it's paying such and such $100. You know, we need you to come rehearse, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, all we do is do, you know, Michael Jackson songs, Earth, Wind, and Fire, whatever, you know, top 40, whatever the people want for their wedding reception. You know, we just rock it out and I get paid. And that's how it started. You know, that's how I started creating the income. Is like my phone started ringing and I show up and I, you know, do a good job and, you know, I get called back again. And then, you know, before I realized it, like, honestly, before I realized it, dude, I was playing with this group, that group, and fast forward to 2012, I get a phone call from a saxophone player who I was doing the corporate band thing with for like a good year, who I had originally met at Apache. Remember I told you about the Apache thing?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I had originally met him there, so, you know, he, you know, like I said, we've been playing together for a good year, and he got the phone call about Musiq Soulchild, and, you know, they left it up to him to put a horn section together, and he called me to play the role of the trumpet player, and dude, I didn't have to audition. I didn't have to do nothing. Like, you know, his word was good enough. And because he got the phone call and because he's such a good player, they trusted him that whoever he was going to bring in, you know, was going to be able to, you know, handle it. And so he called me one day and he's like, Vaughn, I got that phone call. And I'm like, you know, what phone? What are you talking about? You know what I mean? He's like, that call. And I'm like, dude, who? And he's like, you ready? I'm like, yeah. He's like, Musiq Soulchild. And I'm like, what? So, you know, he runs down, yeah, true story. So he runs down the logistics like, hey, you know, we get paid this much per show, we get paid this much per diem, and, you know, got to go get your passport in order because we might do some stuff overseas, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? You know, if we go on a tour, this is how much we make per week. And he's like, you know, you down? And I'm like, of course I'm down. You know what I mean? And the rest is history. That's the rest is history. Now here I am today. You know, been touring with Musiq Soulchild since last summer. You know, I still I still got the freedom to do whatever I want to do on the side. You know what I mean? I'm working on my first solo project. You know, getting the artwork done on that. And you know, now I'm known to the music community as Born on the Horn. Like, you know, I got a logo, I got a name. Like, people know me, and it's, you know, it's crazy. Like 2 years, you know, in only 2 years, man, I quit my job and, like, you know, look at me now. Like, not that I made it to the top, but like, sheesh, I'm in the door. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I
I'm
mean,
in the door, man. Like,
oh, I'm proud of you, man. That's a really cool story, because I've been wanting to find out like how it all happened. So it's just really cool to hear it. What because we're getting somewhat close to the end of the interview. What would you say is a bad side, or like a con, would you say, of being a full-time musician?
You have to, you can't get relaxed. Like, no matter what opportunity presents itself, it's still the music business. And like you hit it on earlier, there's so many musicians out there. Like, how did you know what I mean? And it's just a matter of not burning bridges and you know, choosing, you know, mingling with the right people. And if, you know, you just really got to be a genuine person. And, you know, when you get an opportunity, you just really got to, no matter how small or how big you think it is, you just really got to be a good professional, because it's business. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I can, someone else could be a better horn player than me, you know, and not to say that that's true, because I view myself as the best, but that's just me. Yeah, I got to do that. You know what I'm saying? But someone else could be, you know, that's, I'm just being real. Someone else could be a better horn player than me, but if my business is better, then I'm going to get the calls. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm going to get the calls. Like, this guy could be the best, but he's always an hour late to rehearsal. When it's time to catch the flight, he's got an excuse. He's not, you know what I mean? And dude, nobody, you know what I'm saying? He's a better person. He's a better player than me, but dude, I'm a good player, and I'm always on time, and I'm going to be there, and people know they can depend on me. So I get the gigs, you know what I'm saying? And that's kind of how things go in the music industry, man. It's like, yo, your business has to be intact, you know what I'm saying? And you gotta have character and things of that nature. And you know, I possess those things, so man, I get a lot of calls, you know what I mean? I get calls, man, like, dude, like I said, I got features on people's albums now, man. Like, I don't even want to get into name dropping, but like, dude, I get calls. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, I guess, like you're saying, it's basically what you put in. Like, you can't sleep on nothing in the music industry.
You can't sleep, and you gotta. I'm sorry to answer to specifically answer that question that you just asked. Like, you gotta stay business, because man, there are some drop periods. Like, not to be specific about my money and everything, but dude, let's say I've got like 6 shows with Musiq Soulchild between January and February, right?
Uh-huh.
But then my next show isn't for a whole month later in the middle of March. Well, dude, all that money I made January and February, I put that in the savings, because I know, all right, I don't have that much work between February and March. So I can't, you see what I'm saying? Like, you gotta be smart. Like, you know what I mean? I gotta be smart about it.
Wow.
And exactly. Like that's what I do, and in that meantime, that's when I get back to shedding and completing my album, and, just coming up with new ideas and, things of that nature, doing local stuff, and, still staying in tune with the underground scene. Like, that's how it goes. I didn't just, okay, now I'm touring with Soulchild, so, I just, turn my back on everything else and don't take no other kind of gigs. Like, no way, that would be foolish, because, like I said, I have not arrived. Like, I've arrived in one aspect, but I haven't arrived to where I could just sit back and chill because I got royalties coming in. Like, nah, it's not, you know what I'm saying? It's not to that point yet. So I still got to be ambitious, and I still got to work, and I'm still, murdering everything moving. Like, you better believe it. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up, man.
Yeah, man.
Well, we're real proud of you, Trump Funk. We're wrapping up the interview. Can you give the listeners any maybe future future plans that you have, maybe like any big events that you and the band have coming up in the future, and also could you give any advice for the young musician out there if you can?
Yeah. Okay. Well, first, the next show with Soulchild is in Kansas City, Missouri, on March the 16th. After that, I'll be going overseas: Paris, London, Amsterdam, Berlin, and I think Brussels. That's towards the end of May. That's upcoming. I think we got something coming in Cali. I don't remember, like in July. But you can look any of that stuff up on Ticketmaster. Just type in Musiq Soulchild. Like I said, my solo project is due out sometime in March. Listeners, you can follow me on Twitter at Born on the Horn, BornOnTheHorn, Born on the Horn, one word. You can look me up on Facebook, Facebook.com/Born on the Horn. My YouTube channel, you type in Born on the Horn, you can find me there. Everything's Born on the Horn. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram is also Born on the Horn. And, that's kind of how you can keep in touch with me. I'm heavy on my social media. Now, for the young musicians out there, man, just do. Young musicians, listen to me very, very closely and very seriously, man. You can do anything you want to do if you want to do it. Only you can stop you from achieving what you want to achieve. No one else can stop you. Only you can stop you, man. Stay focused, man. That's what I did it. Like I said, I did it in a matter of 2 years. Now, not to say that happens. That's a very rare situation, but that's just the kind of faith that I have. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a go-getter. Anything I put my mind to, that's what happens, man. I've seen it time and time again in various situations, and so that's what I'm just gonna keep on doing, keeping my eye on the prize, man, until I'm the next Miles Davis, man. I gotta pick up where he left off, and that's my goal. That's my mission, and that's what it is.
Boy, man, well, like I said, we're really proud of you, man, representing Trump Funk to the fullest.
No doubt, yeah.
Born came in Crab 96, and even though we're the same age, I came in 97 because I spent that year at Johnson C. Smith, which my Crab brother Troy will never let me forget about. But yeah, man, like I said, man, I'm stoked for you. I'm happy for you, and really glad that you did the interview with me. And, people in our band, Cortez, Brian is in the band. We had a lot of good people.
We put out some heavy hitters, man.
Yeah, so it's just really, really cool, and definitely something for a role model for our younger generation to follow. So, like I said, Born, I really appreciate your time, man.
All right, man. Appreciate it, man. Salute to you, too. Everything you got going on. Congrats on your family, so on and so forth, man. And, it's gonna be the last interview, man.
Oh no, definitely. We'll be doing round 2 with all our people, man. So I really appreciate it, man.
All right, I'll keep you posted on, when my album comes, and then maybe we could do a joint, when that happens, man. Okay?
All right, man. Sounds good.
All right, we're back live, and we want to thank Born for his time for the interview. Before we sign off, we want to hear from our sponsors one last time. There was one call that actually called in. If you guys wanted to have any questions for Born, you can contact the show, or contact me, Facebook, Twitter, and we'll get all your correspondence out and to Born or wherever you need it to be for your questions and concerns. So. We're going to play from our sponsors one last time. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor, please contact the show, and we will give you the criteria so that we can start to pub your business using the platform. We will play your commercial. We'll post your website on our blog, and we'll help you send out your information through social media. So contact us so we can help to build your business. So let's go ahead and hear from our sponsors one last time before we sign off.
Is your credit score keeping you from buying a home, a car, starting a business, or getting a job? Is your score keeping you from living the life you want? Well, look no further than Universal Credit Sources. UCS can help with charge-offs, collections, late payments, bankruptcy, foreclosure, debt settlement, tax liens, and more. Our program is affordable with results in as little as 40 days. Call now for your free 10-minute consultation with Senior Credit Analyst and Loan Officer Angie B. Call her direct line at 469-362-9904. That's 469-362-9904. Or check out the website at universalcreditsources.com. Universal Credit Sources for anything that's hurting your credit score. Are you thinking of tying the knot, having a party, or celebrating that special time in your life? To capture these special moments, call Liquid Effects Photography and take advantage of our 10 years of quality and experience. Liquid Effects Photography covers most of the Midwestern U.S. and will travel even farther on request. Call us at 773-454-5556. That's 773-454-5556. Or check out our website, liquideffects.com. That's LIQUIDEFFEX.com. Come experience the uniqueness of Liquid Effects Photography. Block Band is a minority-owned music business that you can think of as your assistant band director. We help grow your musicians with a great selection of traditional concert band music. Then we back up their performance with necessities like reeds, oil, drum heads, drumsticks, and mallets. Finally, we outfit your players and auxiliary in shoes, spats, and gloves that match our precise custom drills. Got band? If so, then Block Band's got you. Check blockbandmusic.com or call us at 919-698-2560. That's blockbandmusic.com, 919-698-2560. Attention high school directors and alumni. Does your band need to raise money to travel, buy instruments, or uniforms? Are you looking to raise money to help your band? Well, Big Deal Fundraising is rapidly becoming one of the largest distributors of fundraising products in the industry. Big Deal is based in New York City and ships anywhere in the United States, offering quality products, fast delivery, and innovative consultation that will help you meet your fundraising goals. Call today at 855-244-4430 or visit us at BigDealFundraisingUSA.com. Big Deal Fundraising, your fundraising partner for your band or music ensemble. What if there was a Facebook for bands? Wait a minute, there is. Bandhead.org. Bandhead.org is a social network for HBCU show bands. You can create your own profile and post videos, photos, and comments on Bandhead.org. Need somewhere to post events, audition schedules, job postings? Check out bandhead.org. Are you recruiting for talent? Go to bandhead.org. And coming this fall, HBCUbands.com. Write that down, HBCUbands.com.
Okay. Well, that's all the time that we have for the show, unfortunately, but it's always quite a joy to be broadcasting to you, and really excited that this is a one-year anniversary here on Blog Talk Radio, and excited for the shows that we have planned for you this month. So definitely go ahead and check out all the shows that we have planned. We hope to get you to listen to all of them, and remember that you can always click on the link at any time to listen to the episode. You don't have to check it out live. Check out the marchingpodcast.com. Donate what's in your heart. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Thanks to you for listening, and remember, the eye is a better pupil and more willing than the ear. Advice may be misleading, but examples are always clear. See you next time.